guys, Dave here, and today I'm with Camera Lady from over at the Eric Show. If you haven't checked out their YouTube channel, make sure you do. It's a lot of funny stuff. And today we're here to review AirPods because, well, Camera Lady bought
the real AirPods,
and I bought CoddlePods, which are the i12 TWS. Basically the same thing, I'm sure. and mine cost $30.
and mine costed $150. They're the first generation AirPods.
Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about the differences, what they're like, and what we like or don't like about them. First thing up, just to talk about the packaging between the two. The boxes seem very similar size. They look a lot like, lot heavier though.
This one's definitely made of like a heavier cardboard or plastic. I can't tell.
But that's just the box. My picture is fantastic. They look the exact same in the picture.
The picture looks very similar, but mine is embossed into the surface, and his is kind of just printed.
A sticker. Yeah.
And just a quick thing about the overall view, mine doesn't have that many words, just the AirPods and the logos, and then on the back it has
all kinds of words. All right, let's take a look at the inside, see what we got. Well, I got some instructions.
And in this box, it has the Designed by Apple in California.
I'm probably supposed to be able to read this small print, but I can't.
It's really tiny. But if you pull out these, it has the instructions in a few different languages.
All right, inside my box, I've got this wonderful plastic holder and the CoddlePods, and of course, a lightning connector short cord to plug it all in.
And in mine, the actual AirPods come in this little plastic sleeve kind of thing. And past that, instead of a ripped piece of plastic, there is a piece of cardboard. And then right underneath that, there is the
full-size lightning container.
The classic Apple lightning cable.
Yep, full cable, cool. So theirs is packaged a little bit better, sure, but come on, we're more worried about the... Okay, it's heavier. You can tell for sure that it's heavier. They look a lot alike, front, back, side. They have writing on this one, but you know, they both have a pairing button. But the actual AirPods are a little heavier.
Yeah, and if you kind of just look at them, they look very similar apart, but when you put them next to each other, slightly different shape overall.
All right, let's take a look at the actual pods themselves. Okay, magnetic closure. I like that.
Doesn't stay open as well.
Can I see yours?
No.
Oh, yeah, that does stay open much better. Oh, and you have a little light on the inside of yours. I do not.
Yeah, the pairing light is on there.
Do not have a light inside of mine. That does snap shut pretty quick on its own.
It has a different kind of closure. It kind of clicks a little more, and this one has the actual AirPods have.
It is magnetic though. Magnetic closure and magnetic pods. Let's pull them out. All right.
They look similar.
Let's switch right ears. That way we can each compare on our own. They look very similar. One thing I'm noticing a lot is that the actual AirPod has the little sensors, little round sensor cutouts there.
The sensors, because when it comes out of your ear, you can put on a setting that it will pause the music.
My picture says I have those things, but the actual CoddlePod does not have them. It does also look like the CoddlePod is a tiny bit taller, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And the charging ports on the bottom are slightly different.
And they also don't have the letter that shows which one it is.
Oh, left or right ear?
This is the CoddlePod, and the actual AirPod has the little R for right. And if you check out the bottoms, the actual AirPod has just a solid circle, and the CoddlePod has kind of two round circles. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how my AirPods connect. So, you get more benefits if you have an iPhone. So if you're just on the home screen and you open your AirPods, it says your Camera Lady's AirPods. If you take one out, it will show them separately and they're separate percentages. And then once you put it in your ear, it will make a sound that it connected, and it's just straight up connected now, and I can play some music.
All right, my turn. Got it on my home screen. I open up the door and nothing. But I see that it's blinking, so it's probably talking to me. So I'm gonna pop that in and see what it's saying.
Does it say stuff when you put it in your ear?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so the actual AirPods only have one noise, which is like the disconnecting or pairing noise.
Right now it's not saying anything. I'm going to go to my Bluetooth screen just because that's always a good idea to go to the Bluetooth screen and try to connect to them. They're not saying anything yet.
It's just on the loading symbol.
Yeah, it's just spinning. Well, I've had these connected in the past. Oh, connection unsuccessful. Make sure they're on. Oh, let me do this. Long tap. Doesn't do anything. I'll try it on this here.
So you have to like turn them like on?
Yeah, usually that's... Oh, they just said power on.
Have you tried using...
Now they're pairing.
Have you tried using the pairing button?
And now it's connected.
Okay.
Okay, so that wasn't so bad. I bet I just have to learn about maybe using the pairing button before I take them out of the case. Either way, I'm connected and I'm ready to check out some music to see how it sounds.
So a nice thing about the AirPods are that if you use your phone, then you only have to hit the pairing button the first time you pair them to your phone or any new devices you have.
All right, so my plan, they sound pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me give you the left
Here.
ear so you can try it in your ear to see how that sounds. Okay.
We'll trade.
No. Oh.
Much different quality.
I could hear mine just fine, but boy, there's some serious bass from the AirPods. You can actually hear a difference.
Yeah, here, I'll pause my music really quick.
I'm gonna pause mine too. All you need to do is tap it once to pause.
Yeah. Yeah, there is definitely a big difference.
Well, they're definitely, you can feel there's a lot more weight to the AirPod themselves. It's just a better thing, but I mean, come on, at that price, half the time I'm just listening to talk radio on mine while I'm working in the garage anyway. So, for me, spending $30 on a pair that, granted, it was a little harder to pair and to connect, but overall, $30, I'm happy with them.
Mhm. And I think these work better for me, just overall. So I also have a MacBook, and so just having the fact that I can just flip open the case and they connect right away, I can just flip them open and listen to some music like right away. That's a little more convenient for me.
So I guess in the long run, it might be based on which ones are for you. Is first off, how much money you have. Teenager with a job and no responsibilities can afford that kind of cash. An adult with a job and a lot of dependents, and it's a lot of money. And like I said, I'm really not listening to a ton of music where deep bass comes into play. I'm listening to talk radio and really podcasts are what I like. So for me, spending $30, I call it a plus. All right, now I've learned with mine that if I tap once on either ear, it will pause the music. Tap it again, it plays the music. If I tap 3 times on the left ear, it goes back to the first song. Tap 3 times on the right, it goes to the end of that song. And it said in my instructions to tap twice to control the volume, but it doesn't work on mine. I'm not sure why it won't work. I hit it twice, it just beeps at me. It does not change the volume. So I wish I could, because that'd be a nice time to have that. But that's all my tapping does.
Yeah, so that's a little confusing to me. Like, I feel like I'd forget, like, the different controls. But if you, so on the AirPods, if you go into the further settings, so if you go into the Bluetooth, you go to, your AirPods, mine's Camera Lady's AirPods, and you scroll down, you can change the name, you can do left and right. So the only tapping control you can do is double tap, but you can choose it to do Siri, play and pause, next track, previous track, or do nothing. So yeah, you can change them separately for left and right. I usually do left as the previous track and right as the next track. And then the automatic ear detection was what we were kind of briefly talking about earlier, about how if you take it out of your ear, it pauses the music. And that's what the little sensors are for that the CoddlePods don't have.
Yeah, and mine doesn't have any of those options of changing the taps and what they do. It's
Or the name.
They don't even show up. All I see is I-12 and nothing else. So
and then
a little less features there, I guess.
Yeah, but the final thing I like is if you have a MacBook, you can take your MacBook. You can even do the newer ones with no frame around it. Those still work too. If you put the AirPod near the top, it just magnetically hangs onto the top. And that's pretty convenient if you want to take out your AirPod and can't quickly get it in the case. You could just stick it to the top of your screen. Well, thank you guys for watching this comparison video between the AirPods by Apple
and the CoddlePods, the I-12 TWS.
Make sure to check out the Eric Show. We'll leave a link in the description below.
And if you haven't already, like and subscribe.